Hello and welcome, this is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more BattleTech, continuing my look at the backer beta build and the single player skirmish mode that is the only mode currently available. In my last video, I tried out my first match at the battle budget level of 20 million. In that video, I used a default loadout of the medium support, which gave us strong long-range firepower. This time around, I'm going to be doing a custom build. My opponent is going to be the medium assault loadout, as I think it will be an interesting matchup. The loadout I'm doing is very different than the previous loadout, and it's something that I kind of wanted to do an experiment with, where I did more medium mechs rather than going to heavy mechs, which is something that you can't afford at this budget level. I mean, honestly, you can afford assault mechs even at the previous budget level if you bring all of your other mechs down to a very low value point. But I wanted to see what would happen if we did a lot of mechs that were a little higher value medium mechs. So kind of the top end of the medium mech scale. And use some medium mechs that we haven't really seen a lot of. And I think we will also possibly be able to counter the strength of our opponent. Well, honestly, we're countering the strength with the same strength. We're going in with kind of a bruiser style, get up close and personal and smash it out. And that's exactly what our opponent is good at as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. In any case, let's just go ahead and go down our mechs and the pilots that I've chosen. So at the back, we have the Trebuchet, which is a nice support mech. I always like to have at least one of these around. This is going to give us a couple LRM-15s, so the same kind of firepower we've seen from the catapults that I used in the last video. And it also has a bevy of medium lasers. So we've got what, 1, 2, 3 perhaps medium lasers? So almost what the catapult had. But it's a medium mech, a lot lighter, and the value is a lot lower. Just as a comparison, I believe the catapult we were using was up at 7.1 million, so definitely a discount over that. But you're getting similar long-range firepower. The pilot I'm using is Apex, just because of her good gunnery skill. The ability she has is Precision Strike if you use only one weapon. There are some bonuses with that. So when attacking with a single weapon, ignore cover and guarded on a target. That might be something we utilize a little bit more than I have in the past, but it's maybe not the best thing to use with a mech like this where we have two LRM-15s. But again, if they perhaps have the guarded trait or the cover trait, might want to think about that. We have two Kintaros. These are going to be real good in-close brawlers. So what they bring to the table is a couple SRM-6s, which are going to actually, is it just 2 or is it 3? 3 SRM-6s, which is going to be really devastating in-close firepower. We do have an LRM-5 for a little bit of long-range poke, but that's not going to be our main firepower, and we do have a backup medium laser. The real problem with the Kintaro is just how ammo-dependent it is. But otherwise, really good durability, really good speed. Another deficiency is the heat. We're going to build up a lot of heat if we're alpha striking. So we'll have to maybe utilize hit and run tactics or really think about how we're going to address this heat. But if we can get in close, maybe get some flanks going, we can do a lot of devastating damage and knock out our opponents quickly. So we have two of those. The two opponent pilots I'm using are Ozone and Paradise. Paradise and Ozone have very similar stats, but the main difference is their abilities. So we have Bulwark, which benefits us if we stay still, and then we have Passive, which benefits us if we keep moving. Honestly, I think the passive trait is going to be really good for our Kintaro because we do have a decent amount of maneuverability. Because we do have a support mech, I am going to be using Witness with the sensor lock ability because I find evasive bonuses to be really powerful so far with the way the game's working right now. And our light mech is going to be a Commando, which is going to have similar strengths to the Kintaros, at least up close punch. We come in here, so we're going to have a couple SRMs and a medium laser as our main punch. And maneuverability is going to be key for our Commando. Alright, with all that being said, let's jump right into the match. The map I'm going to be playing is River Crossing, which I think is a good one for the up-close brawling that suits my strategy. At least I believe it gives us the cover we will need to close the distance. And hopefully this Lance loadout is up to the task. That's the thing about these custom builds, they're experimental. I have not played them at all before I'm recording here, so I have no idea how effective they are. I'm just going off of my gut and what seems logical here.
Command interface initiated.
Okay, so starting off, we've got our light mech. We're going to need to establish some element of line of sight, if at all possible. There's two areas of action I see. Action here in the middle, and action over here on the sides. I think action in the middle is where we're going to want to focus. And as a result, I think I'm going to stick my commando right there.
Right, Commander.
I expect that we're going to get some sensor contact right away. Now, where I'm going to put my trebuchet, I haven't really decided. I think if we're going to have the action over here, we're going to want to have that trebuchet in a position to use indirect fire. And if that's the case, we're going to want to have our trebuchet over and cover over here, I think, behind this ridge. Now, this is kind of what I did with the catapult in the last video. Downside is if I do that, they may be able to see me. That might be a little too far out. Maybe moving here would be advisable. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Now, one thing, because we have all medium mechs, we may be able to take advantage of our opponent on the initiative side of things. They have a combination of light, medium, well, I say all medium, we have one light, but they have a combination of light, medium, and heavy, and that means that we'll have that initiative advantage against the heavy mech every turn, so that will be pretty good for us. Now, we don't have any jump jets with this loadout, so it will be a little bit trickier to deal with surprise attacks, or, I mean, my ability to do surprise attacks is limited. Alright, so we'll stick ourselves in cover here. I do want to get up close and personal as soon as possible, and right now, we're working on that. So I'm going to put my other Kintar right nearby, so we've kind of got ourselves grouped up. Now let's see if we can take advantage of somebody that runs up here.
Heads up. I got a sensor trace.
Gonna stop just short here.
Another blip on my screen.
Now we're not seeing their commando. They have a commando as well. Oh, there it is. Surprised it. Oh, yeah, we're not in the initiative system yet. I was just thinking. I'm surprised it went last. All right, at this stage, we don't have line of sight, so I'm just going to go ahead and reserve witness. I see their commando coming out here. More than likely sprinting to do so. And we're going to see some evasive for that commando. Now, we can kill that commando pretty much right now. If we... And then look, I mean, I can move with all four of my guys now in this phase, whereas they can only move a couple of theirs. All right, so just as a demonstration here, we can literally, like, move right up against this guy. So what we're going to want to do is with witness, we're going to want to establish line of sight, and then break this guy's evasive with the sensor lock. I think that's a really good move. The only real problem with this strategy is we want to keep ourselves in a relatively defensive position. So I think moving here would be good, as we have a line of sight. It's kind of dodgy, but it's decent. Okay, so I move here, and I break the evasive bonus that the commando has. I want to kill their light mech early, if I can. We're just going to use our sensor lock here, and remove that evasive. And also the movement bonuses that they have to defense. We're going to see, I'm assuming, the Centurion come in here soon. Oh, actually, it's the Hunchback. That's actually a real bad threat for us. The Hunchback is going to be the biggest problem for us, because we need to get up close and personal to do our real damage. So do they. So it's going to be pretty tricky to deal with. All right, so I think we might want to move our LRM boat now. So just go ahead and take a look at attack. 70%, 65%. So I think we go for the 70% chance here. We may be even able to knock down the commando. And I think that that would be really valuable. So let's go ahead and fire our LRMs.
Target confirmed.
Anyway, this is going to be real devastating firepower that we just dropped on that commando. Okay, now we're going to see the rest of the team move here. All right, already hitting our commando. I can't believe that damage we just took. Ridiculous, kind of. I mean, considering the range and everything. All right, so
What's the plan?
I think Paradise is an obvious choice in to move in here to try and kill this commando. As moving him, he will keep the evasive bonus. Now, of course, that's if the game is nice to me and actually wants me to be able to use that evasive bonus, kind of like the AI seemingly always gets a great opportunity with that. I'm going to move, think like this. Should make it hard to flank me with that hunchback. Hunchbacks are not particularly quick. All right. We got really good chances to hit here, except with the LRM-5. There's no reason to fire with that. And we're going to unload with everything we can here, hopefully killing this commando in one strike.
Locking on target.
Okay, devastating damage there, and we knocked him down. We should be able to follow that up nicely with our other Kintaro.
Yup.
And I really don't see a reason why not. We're just going to kill this guy. Alternatively, I stay where I am and I attack. We don't have a great chance to hit him, but it's not bad chance to hit him. And we keep our bulwark trait, which allows us to get guarded when remaining stationary, which we wouldn't move. So I'm a little bit scared doing this because I know my chance to hit is a lot lower. But their chance to do damage to me is significantly reduced. I think we go ahead and we fire a lot of our weaponry here, just to ensure the kill. I might pull off with one weapon. One of the SRM-6s I'll pull off. All right. Let's choose our location. We're going to go center torso, trying to get the kill. And we'll fire.
I'm on him.
Okay, we got that kill. Perfect.
New target.
So turn one, we kill the mech. Unfortunately, they managed to do a lot of damage to our commando at extreme range, which is just ridiculous, honestly. Okay, so their Orion didn't do anything to us. Okay, I think as much as it pains me to do, I think we use our sensor lock on their hunchback. Although, I don't know. I'm kind of torn here. We don't know who's going to go next. If the hunchback goes next, using our bonus here to remove his evasive isn't going to do us a lot of good, in my opinion. So, I think, honestly, we just go in reserve here and just wait. I mean, yeah, we got smacked there last turn, and the same thing may happen here. Okay, so the hunchback's going to move up, and he's going to go after my commando. Fortunately for me, he missed with that big damage. I don't think he hit us at all, as a matter of fact. Okay. At this stage, I think it's clear they're going to keep going after my commando. So just to make that not a factor, we're going to move away here. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna sprint with Witness.
For orders.
Oh, it doesn't let me sprint. Oh, it's probably because we're unsteady. That's why. Okay. So we'll just walk away here. Just break the line of sight so they can stop. They can't hit him anymore. We did lose one of our SRMs, which is not good, obviously. Okay. And that's going to be it. We're just going to brace, which is going to remove that unsteady. Then they're going to move their Centurion, and we'll be able to... We did manage to dodge a lot of that damage. So, yeah, Evasive did good work for us. Not a lot of that hit. Okay, now we have Paradise.
You have orders?
I can get in kind of to a flank on him. Not quite. Maybe we should go with the trebuchet attack here first. I can get a direct line of sight if I move around a little bit. That might be a good call. That doesn't mean they'll be able to attack me back, but we have quite a bit of range on them. And if that hunchback comes after me, he'll give me his back and we'll be able to really punish him for that. Okay, so we've got good vision here. I don't think we want to fire everything, though, because the heat would be outrageous. Matter of fact, I think we just go with our LRMs for this point.
Target locked.
So you might be wondering, why did I get into line of sight then if I was just going to use my LRMs? Because it was a 95% chance to hit. That's why. Okay, so we made him unsteady.
What are your orders, Skipper?
We might be able to knock him down and then get a cold shot with Paradise. So at this point, I think we unload with Ozone. And, ooh, that's a lot of heat. Let's back off one of my medium lasers. Well, the medium lasers have a better chance to hit here. Okay, well, we'll back off one of the SRM-6s that we've already fired. I want to knock this guy down, so I want to do enough damage to him to possibly get that to happen. So let's go ahead and fire at him here. It's going to be a lot of heat, but we still get that bulwark trait going.
Firing.
Okay, and we did knock him down. So this means we will be able to move here with Paradise and get some good
How might I help?
called shots going. So I have to move here if I want to be able to spin and do that damage. Now I might give him my back here if I do this. I mean, technically we're putting our back at a wall, but I can't quite pivot it enough to guarantee he won't be able to flank me, but it's unlikely, let's say. And I'm also positioning myself in a place where it's going to be hard for him to prevent a flank, because I have now mechs on two sides of him. If he faces over this way, we can come around with Ozone. If he faces towards Ozone, we can go around him with Paradise. So either way, things are looking good. Our chance to hit here is not excellent. We're going to have to back off with some of these SRM-6s, I think. So just going to be one SRM-6 and a couple of our medium lasers. Yeah, that heat is really a problem. Is there anything in his left arm? There's a medium laser, so I do see a reason why to target that. We could go after his left torso instead, which is where his ammo is. So that's actually a really good target. If we take that out, his ability to use that autocannon will be gone. So let's go ahead and dump that fire in.
Good to go.
Okay, we did hit his arm, blowing it off, so there goes his medium laser. That is cutting into his firepower a bit. Okay, miss. As long as we are continuing to move, we should be able to dodge some of this damage. So the fact that we're getting that damage in on Paradise is really good for us. Okay, Witness, I might as well just reserve. No reason to take any risks with him. We might be able to use him this turn, though. Okay, no surprise, the Hunchback stands up and is going to maneuver here, possibly. What is he going to do? He is going to try that flank. He didn't quite get it, though. Missed with the AC-20, which is the real damage. Now, what he just did is he gave me his back. Without a shadow of a doubt, he just gave me his back. What are your defensive things? You've got guarded, which is going to make my ability to do damage to him lower, but remember, we have a trait here. We can ignore cover and guarded if we only use one weapon. So we can't attack that guy. And honestly, I don't see a reason why not. We want to move Paradise, more than likely.
You have orders?
And honestly, I don't think this move is going to be altered too much. Here, we're going to come in and we're going to get behind this guy. Now, honestly, we are attacking a fresh quarter, though, if we do that. But rear armor is weak, so I don't know if it's necessarily a bad plan to do so. But I think we come in here, we do that rear attack because this is just such an obvious attack.
Yes, Commander.
Now the downside is I really won't be able to dump a lot of firepower into this just because of how much heat we've been building up. We still have our evasive, we're in cover, so that's pretty good. Got good chances to hit here. I think I may have to turn our SRM-6 off, which is unfortunate. On the other hand, we could use the SRM-6s. Yeah, let's just use the 2 medium lasers for right now. Heat is a real problem in this mech, I'm noticing. We could go all out and really, you know, dump fire into this guy and probably even take him out, but at this stage, I think we're going to need to cool off a little bit. As a matter of fact, a single SRM-6 might be worth firing out as opposed to the 2 medium lasers, as it will cool me off more, but it also has the potential of doing close to about the same damage as 2 medium lasers. So let's go ahead and fire this off. It's a little bit less chance to hit, but
I feel bad. That would test me.
okay. Decent damage. Okay, a lot of missing, and we're dodging a lot of that, so very little damage.
Stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
Oh, we did break that line of sight, though. That's unfortunate. We might be able to reestablish it, though. If I move here, we'll reestablish it. And I could always reestablish it with my light mech as well. So, to be honest with you, I think reestablishing it with the light mech is probably the better call. All right, I'm going to move in. Let's see if we can get some kind of kill here.
Acknowledge.
We don't have a line of sight because of this rock here, which is fine. Okay. He does have cover. He does have movement bonuses. I'm not going to be able to fire off much of anything here because of the heat. I think we just go with a single SRM, perhaps. Just like we did with our other mech, just to cool off a little bit, but we're still putting fire out on this guy, trying to punish him. We did manage to hit him in the head. He is unsteady, which helps. I can maybe flank him with the commando too, so we could do more damage.
Awaiting orders.
All right, right now we can see him. Honestly, I just think we take the Hunchback out rather than sit around. We're not going to be able to dump the LRMs in, but we can hit him with the medium lasers and do some good damage. I think that's the right call. Just take one opponent out at a time.
Taking the shot.
We might be able to knock him down, too. Okay. So the last thing we need to do is decide on, hey, what are we going to do with our light mech? And honestly, I don't want to have the enemies have line of sight to him. So we'll just do this. We'll come in, we'll smack him, and then next turn... Well, honestly, it doesn't matter because next turn I could just move out of range or out of line of sight anyway. We're going to go ahead and fire both things. Fortunately, our firepower is reduced because of the missing arm. Okay, left torso destroyed. That's going to be his ammo gone. And he's knocked down. Now, I might want to risk going for another shot with our commando rather than moving. Okay, unfortunately, it looks like they could see me where they were. Okay. So we know for sure that this guy here, he's going to move. Now, he shouldn't be able to use the AC-20 because we blew it. We blew away his ammo. We could try and go for a kill, but I think that's unlikely with a commando to secure it. And I think it's very likely that this Hunchback is going to go after our light mech. What I could do is move over this way, establish a line of sight, enough that we can fire. but break it with just about everybody else. Now, that doesn't mean that if they maintain line of sight through the Hunchback, they will be able to... Oh, you know what? They probably use the Hunchback's line of sight. Okay. But in any case, if the Hunchback survives this, which more than likely he will, they will be able to use his line of sight to attack the Commando, which is dangerous. Okay, I'm just going in there for the kill. We managed to strip out some of that armor. Now, no surprise here, the Hunchback gets up. Let's see what he's going to do. If I was in his position, I would punch here, which it looks like he's going to do. Did pretty good damage, and he's going to fire off his small laser. Okay. Pretty good. Now, in this situation, we really don't want to get hit anymore with Paradise. But we can move into a position where we can keep firing at him. We can't quite get his flank, unfortunately. But we can get into a position to keep firing at him, but also get ourselves our evasive trait by continuing to move. Okay. Attack here. We continue to pile on him with our SRM-6. At this point, we might even be able to get away with a couple SRM-6 shots here. And let's go ahead and fire. Okay, devastating damage. He's now unsteady. Yeah, I'm not really surprised to see damage coming in at our Commando, but the attack was not a particularly good one. All right.
Standing by.
I think an attack here from Apex is kind of a no-brainer. Let's do it. Again, we're going to dump medium lasers in here, do some real good damage to the Hunchback.
Engaging target.
I mean, this is more or less a 3 versus 1 at this stage. Right now. Okay. So Ozone is at his best if he stays still, because he's going to get that guarded trait. And honestly, I think we keep him still. And we can probably fire off a couple of our SRMs. Maybe even 3, all 3 at this stage. Yeah, it looks like we can get all 3 fired in here. We've got 90% chance to hit. I think this is a really good chance. Let's fire this off. Okay. Devastating damage. And down he goes.
Watch my heat.
Alright, well, we might be able to finish him off with Commando. Do get some damage coming in here. It's going to be damage reduced, though, because of the guarded trait there with the bulwark. Okay, so right now we've got a called shot. And if we look at his armor, it's probably very bad in the center torso. So I think we try for a kill. It's not necessarily likely, but maybe if we're lucky here. Okay, we managed to hit him. Oh, the pilot died due to mech's injuries, so that mech's done anyway. So we didn't blow the mech up, but we did kill the pilot. Now they don't have line of sight, so they have to establish line of sight if they want to do damage to me. Now, he might have already done that with that move. Okay, yeah, he comes in, establishes line of sight.
Internal structure damaged.
Awaiting orders.
Okay, Apex has a nice line of sight. I figure we go ahead and fire here. This is a good opportunity to use our LRMs. And that should keep us out of the danger zone as far as heat. This should be pretty devastating. 2 LRM-15s is nothing to laugh at. Okay. Now the question is, out of our 2 mechs, who is the cooler of the 2? At this point, I would say probably Paradise is. Although, looks like Ozone can handle the heat a little bit better. At this stage, backing off might be a good idea, but we have to keep in mind that he gets that guarded trait every time he stays still. Now, if they flank him next turn, that's going to be a problem. A chance to hit here is not particularly good. I think we deselect these and we go for a medium laser fire instead. It'll cool us off a little bit. These are decent chances to hit. We may be able to knock him down. Okay, both a hit. No knockdown, though. Okay. We want to keep moving as long as we have this evasive ability, so let's get in.
Have no doubt it will be done.
And unfortunately, we still had that same issue with heat being a problem. We might even want to get in this water and kind of mix it up in there. I'm going to think both medium lasers is going to be what we end up going with. Pretty good chances to hit here.
He's going down.
If we mix it up in the water next turn, we might even be in a good position. So, okay, they're firing here. Unfortunately, not a... Well, I was going to say, not a good plane for them.
Internal structure damage.
But for some reason, we didn't get the... Oh, it's because we were unsteady. Because we were unsteady,
Hit my speed.
we didn't have the evasive trait. That sucks, but... At this point, I think we just reserve. Let them go ahead and move. I'm going to assume the Centurion will move in here and probably try and take advantage of our downed mech. Or not. All right. Well, if that's what they're going to do... I wanted to get in the water and mix it up, but he just gave me his back. So, let's attack him in the back, if that's what he's going to do. Okay, he's not going to get his guarded thing, so the fact that he did that is meaningless to us. Do we do 2 medium lasers here again? Yeah, we still need the cooldown.
Firing.
He mostly did that to try and remove that unsteady that he had. Maybe something I should have done last turn with Paradise, now that I think about it. Okay, we're going to stand up. And if I can get away with it, I'm going to move in the water
Here we go.
and try and flank this guy. This may be a really silly move because the heavy mech may be able to flank me if I'm not careful. Ooh, I don't know if I can pull that off. Yeah, nope, that's not going to be something I can pull off. All right, let's rethink that. Maybe I can move into the water here. And then we'll do that. Shouldn't be able to flank me there. We're going to need to cool off. We still get the evasive trait, so... This should really help me be able to reuse my firepower. Something I probably should have done earlier. Because as you can see, I'm really able to open up with a lot more of my weapons here. Let's turn off some of my medium lasers so I can get more SRM6s going. Oh, but their chances to hit are not particularly good. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just do like that. And hopefully we'll get some good hits. That didn't do as much damage as it could have done because of his guarded trait. Okay.
Aye,
At this stage, I'm just going to fire a single weapon off so that we can cool off a little bit. And we're going to use that precision strike ability.
Will go.
So we got a 100% chance, and it's going to ignore his cover and his guarded. So we'll do maximum damage there. Okay. I'm going to reserve Witness for now,
Standing by.
because I want him to be able to do damage. Yeah, see, that's what I didn't want to have happen. How are we on being able to do damage after that? Okay.
Commander?
Only the one weapon's knocked out. So I should be able to get in here, do damage, and then get out for next turn. Unfortunately, I can't flank. I don't have quite the movement to do that. So we'll just come in enough. I mean, honestly, I can just stay still. Fire, and then next turn we leave. Yeah.
Firing on target.
Let's try and make this guy unsteady. Okay. We don't want our commander getting hit anymore, so we're just gonna go ahead and move him away.
On my way.
And then I'll guard him so that he removes that unsteady trait. Okay. Wow, did he still... Oh, okay, never mind. It's not... For a second there, I was thinking it was a hunchback, but no, that's a centurion.
Damage.
Okay. It looks like they're going to focus on my
Orders.
centurion here. All right, well, Ozone needs to go, I think. We could still have Apex move and continue to try and cool off by just standing still, attacking this target. I mean, honestly, I think that's a good call, because we are cooling off every time we do that. It's slight, but it's something.
Engaging
And
target.
we're going to ignore his cover every time we do it. Okay.
Confirm.
Now the question is Ozone or Paradise here. Got 90% chance to hit with a lot of our weapons. I think we're going to want to unload here with our SRM-6s, so as many as I can fire safely. It just looks like 2. We'll fire those off.
10-4.
Pretty good damage. He's going to get knocked down,
Watch my heat.
which is going to allow me to be able to try and finish him with Paradise here. I'm going to need to move with Paradise, though, to keep my evasive trait.
Yes, Commander.
So we'll move like that. It is making us further away, but we need the water to be able to cool off. Okay. Go for his center torso, try and kill him. And what we have targeted right now looks like pretty good. We'll turn off the medium lasers, cool down a little bit by just firing the SRMs.
Firing.
Doesn't look like we managed to do the damage to the area I was trying to call the shot on. Okay, he's continuing to do damage to
Breach. Internal damage.
that concur. All right, hopefully we can get Witness in here.
More orders.
Do some damage. Trying to get him into a position where he has cover, though. Yeah, it looks good there. And we'll go for the center torso here again. The idea is that we're trying to kill the Centurion. I think it was kind of hard to pull off with the Kintar just because it was a side attack.
Right, Commander.
Come on.
Critical hit, Commander.
All right, he's going to be able to go here, so that sucks. We were trying to kill him before he got that opportunity. And I think it was a chance worth taking, but I think he's going to come in here and he's going to smash our commando, and our commandos might go down here. Yeah. So right there, that was just horrendous luck, because we had the opportunity to kill that guy, and it just didn't happen. All right, I think Apex we counterattack with. We've been cooling her off. Hopefully we've cooled her off enough that we can counterattack here with 3 medium lasers and just kill this guy. There we go. So, a little too late, but there he goes. Okay, so we're going to have both of our medium mechs being able to move here. I think at this point, we just move into the water and we try and just do as much damage as we can at close range and try and overwhelm this guy. We've got good armor. We've got, you know, really awesome firepower. So the more damage we do, I think the better off we are. Unfortunately, we're still incredibly hot. I think we just go all SRMs here.
I'm on him.
Okay,
Keep an eye on my heat, Commander.
we've got him unsteady.
Awaiting orders.
We're going to do the same thing here. Just get in close.
Move order received.
He may counter with a close combat attack, which could be devastating. He is a heavy mech after all. We might be able to get away with one medium laser. Let's do it.
Locking on target.
Unfortunately, he gets to go right after we do, so that means he's going to be able to get right back up. And it does look like he's going to come in and try and smash me. Which, you know, I'm not surprised. But he just gave me his back, so very silly, to be honest with you. Okay.
Yes, Commander.
So we've got line of sight. We've got line of sight on his back. I mean, he just more or less given me the match right now. It's going to be LRMs that would do the real damage here. I don't think there's a reason to hold back. I mean, we could do one at a time here, but we want to do devastating damage to this guy this turn, if at all possible. So let's go ahead and fire everything we have. This is a lot of heat, but we're not going to shut down from this. All in his back.
I'm starting to.
Okay, we took a little bit of damage there.
Yes, Commander.
I think we start with Ozone. We move him in behind. We give him a nice critical attack here. Alternatively, we move Paradise first. We put him here, and then we move Ozone there. Those are both good flanks. So the reason I'm moving with Paradise is just to give him that evasive bonus, because
You wish.
he's still good on his feet. And we're just going to dump fire into this guy on his back, and we should finish him here. I'm going to back off on the medium laser, just do SRM-6s so that we don't overheat.
Target acquired.
Okay, we've eaten through his entire back armor. He's going to go down. And then we'll be able to take advantage of that with Ozone. So, Ozone, going to move in behind. And we're just going to unload on this guy from the back and hopefully kill him. Now, the one thing I would say is with him on his back like that, it should be impossible to hit his rear armor. I kind of get why they did it the way they did it, but in theory, that should be true. We're going to go for the kill with the center torso, though. And boom, he's dead.
Target down.
So as we saw there, those Kintaros are really, really powerful and close. The only real problem with them is just that heat. If we can keep them in water, this map is actually one of the ones that is not as good for that, just because the body of water involved is so small. And it's directly in the middle of the battlefield. But maybe it's something I should have taken advantage of earlier, rather than waiting so long, because I could have been dishing out more damage than I was if I had. So that's a consideration with this loadout, but I think this is a really, really super effective loadout, because you do have the long-range support from the trebuchet, so you're not totally restricted there. The Kintaros can do long-range fire if they need to. It's not a lot, because it's just LRM 5s, but it's at least something. And then your Commando's got pretty good firepower in close as well, but really he's there to give you that sensor lock ability so that your trebuchet can do more damage, especially in the early stages of the game. I mean, really what we did there is we just went out and we killed that Commando on turn 1, and that really was devastating. And that was just a combination of the really stellar firepower that a Kintara can do when it doesn't have any heat generated, because that was the first time we attacked with them. And the combination of 3 mechs just targeting in on 1 that we have stripped of all the defensive bonuses that they possibly could have with our sensor lock. So this can be really a devastating combination on turn 1. I think really we focused on a light mech. That could have been just as easily the Centurion coming up, and we may have devastated them to the point of death as well on turn 1. So this is an extremely powerful loadout early in the match. The problem is balancing the heat curve the rest of the match with the Kintaros. If you can get into water, it's pretty effective. Otherwise, you're going to have to be balancing that constantly. I'm only going to be firing this many weapons. I'm only going to be firing that many weapons. Fortunately for me, Kintaros also have good maneuverability and armor, so we were able to kind of slug there a little bit. Ozone was able to tank a lot of the shots from that Orion throughout the match just by hunkering down on that cover and diminishing the damage that Orion was doing to us. In any case, all things being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.